White saviors make my job very difficult because I understand the need to want to be liked by everybody, especially when you're some weirdo who can't function in public society, so all your friends come from Twitter. But you have to understand, no matter what you do, white savior, you're always going to be looked at as a weirdo because you're doing something that directly contradicts to whatever message you were told to follow by someone who claims that you're always going to be a racist bigot who hates insert marginalized group here. And what is so weird about insert marginalized group here is that there's all these different rules and all these different sets of standards that you must follow as a white savior, to where if you discriminate against one group of people, it's absolutely fine. But if you discriminate against another group of people, it's a problem, because the patriarchy of oppression always ends and starts with the black man winning the Olympics of oppression. But I know that there's been a lot of conflict going on in the world, and all these different groups are at war, a bunch of talk of terrorism, and yes, it's all important to discuss. But what I don't understand is how people who are nowhere near that conflict are suffering from a bunch of people who are too stupid to realize what they're doing is something they would cry foul about if it happened to them, even to the point where Congress or some form of government is getting involved with college campuses, professors or presidents of college campuses, and these professors or presidents can't say outright that their student body is participating in some shit that is discriminatory.
And now presidents of top universities are coming under fire for their lack of action. ABC News has the story.
As Hanukkah gets underway, the holiday taking on new meaning for many in the Jewish community amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. In Tel Aviv, students lighting candles for those taken by Hamas on October 7th. And as the war rages on, heightened tensions at U.S. college campuses, including anti-Semitic incidents against students. Now, the presidents of three of the top universities in the world, Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania, accused of failing to condemn anti-Semitism on their campuses. Liz McGill, head of UPenn, facing backlash after a contentious House hearing on Tuesday, following this exchange with New York Congresswoman and Harvard alum Elise Stefanik.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
I am asking, specifically calling for the genocide of Jews, does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
McGill walking back her statements amid growing calls for her resignation.
I was not focused on, but I should have been, the irrefutable fact that a call for genocide of Jewish people is a call for some of the most terrible violence human beings can perpetrate.
Thursday, UPenn's Board of Trustees holding a hastily scheduled meeting amid the controversy. The presidents of MIT and Harvard also answering questions on comments about genocide.
Rhetoric.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
The next day, Claudine Gay, president of Harvard, issuing a statement saying that calls for violence or genocide against the Jewish community or any religious or ethnic group are vile. They have no place at Harvard. Following the hearing, the House Committee on Education and the Workforce has now announced a formal investigation into the three universities.
However, while that is stupid, and a couple people, if not only one person, has resigned because they don't know how to actually say something is hateful to say out loud, of course you're going to bring up free speech for that, it is funny that there are individuals who can't even go to the bathroom to let people know that, hey, these people are being discriminatory because they want to pretend as if everybody's supposed to think that that person who thinks that they are the victim of some hateful bigotry is somehow in the wrong for calling it out.
Bathroom. We've given you all your food.
I want to go into the restroom.
You're holding up shit.
Also, currently, this is a private property. I want to go into the restroom. I do need you to leave.
I know Israel loves taking private property and saying it's their own, but we gotta head.
You're not going to let me go into the restroom?
Them, so I need you to leave.
I want you to go into the restroom.
I need you to leave, please.
I was patterned here and I have a right to go into the restroom.
And we have a right
I'm
to
asking
refuse
you
service.
to leave.
Yeah, but I need to go into the restroom.
I'm asking you to leave.
No, you need to let me go into the restroom.
I don't.
I'm asking.
I'm a patron here, and I need to go to the restroom.
I'm kindly asking you to leave.
No, I will not be going to leave.
I'm kindly asking you to leave.
Okay? No, I want to go into the restroom.
That's fine. You can use our restroom. We have a restroom next door. You can use
No,
our
I want to use
It's a
this one.
restroom.
It's a no.
I want.
We're
I
saying
should
no.
not be excluded and other people allowed.
I'm saying no.
I want to go into the restroom.
And what is standing here going to do?
You're not going to let me into the restroom?
You can use our other restroom if
We
you
have
like.
another
No, I
restroom.
want to use this one.
You're not. They're not letting you.
All you
We
want
don't-
to get is a video
Other
of it saying
patrons-
that Zionism is
Why are you afraid? If you
anti-Semitic,
agree
because it
with it, why are you afraid that I will take a picture of it?
Oh, actually, yeah,
Okay.
great. Please.
Why, if you agree with it, why? Why are you
is. I'm not
afraid?
afraid of it.
Then why are you
My
not letting
problem
me
is
in?
because this is what you're
Yeah.
History didn't start in 1948, lady.
Free Palestine. Now
Free Palestine. It's always.
Please leave. Thank you.
It's always. Yeah, great. We love it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think the funniest thing is these people were so loud and proud with their levels of bigotry that they thought they were untouchable. They thought no one was going to care. They thought everybody was going to see that and say, we're fighting back against this random woman who wants to go into the bathroom and take pictures of what is discriminatory towards her and her lifespan. It is sad how you think that you can do that to us because we're fighting back against your people because your people are evil. This is not discriminatory. This is not hateful whatsoever. You're the problem because you're offended by it. And you know what's so great about these three idiots is that they've been fired. Dear valued community, in response to the recent incident at our family-owned cafe, we want to offer an acknowledgement and sincere apology. As context, hate speech graffiti was written in our bathroom, so confirms that no matter what you were saying, weird-looking white saviors, you were spouting a bunch of hate speech. We do not support hate speech. This does not reflect our values. After a customer used the bathroom and wished to return to document the graffiti, they were initially denied access and then allowed to re-enter to document the graffiti. The staff handled the situation poorly, and we apologize for this error and the distress caused to the customer. We have taken corrective measures with our staff and removed the offensive graffiti. We are not anti-Semitic. We value diversity and inclusivity. We're committed to ongoing staff training for a safe and welcoming environment. Thank you for understanding. Yada, yada. They got fired, and they should have been fired because let's set the standard here, people. If it were a strong, independent black woman in the year 2023 wanting to go into a bathroom at a family-owned cafe that had a bunch of N-word slurs on it and white people were stopping her from going in there, what would you call that? You would call that bigotry. You would call that hatred. You would call that racism. If a transgender individual were to go into a bathroom and see a bunch of anti-trans slurs on the walls and they wanted to document that and a bunch of straight men stopped them from going in the bathroom, what would you call that? You would call that transphobia. You would call that anti-LGBTQ. So why in the fuck are you trying to spin it any other way when it's another person who is aligned with something you don't agree with saying that you're being discriminatory towards them? I couldn't imagine it being because you're too fucking stupid to understand that everybody's got some hate speech directed toward them, and it's important to not be a dumbass and instead be a caring individual who's not a piece of shit 24/7, because if you're gonna discriminate against one, you might as well start discriminating against all, because I don't know why y'all think the patriarchy or the oppression or the yada mixed with the yada makes you think that you could discriminate against one group of people and be cool with it while others can't do it because it's rooted in supremacy. It's fucking laughable, and I'm glad these pissants got fired because they're not about inclusivity, they're not about diversity, they're about the think piece they read on Twitter or the think piece that they got told to read because they're a bigot because their skin color dictates that they're nothing more than a white supremacist who has all the power in the world because of the patriarchy, and they're never really going to understand that as a white savior, they are delusional to the concept of being inclusive, because to be inclusive is to not promote anti-Semitic or any hate speech at all in your fucking bathrooms where you work and deny access to said person who wants to document how much of a hypocrite you are. I'm glad we can have this conversation again, but white saviors, understand, I am here for you, the poor disenfranchised African American who you talk about when you're you're interviewed by people on the street about how much I can't afford anything because of your ancestors and their patriarchy. Listen to me. You suck. You're always going to suck because you're worried about saving the world when in reality, you look like a dickhead. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.